Hi everyone, it's Stacey here from Quilt Club with Stacey Lee. I'm so excited to tell you that today I'll be interviewing Rob Scheer. Rob is the founder of Comfort Cases, which is a charity that sends cases to children in foster care, and I'm hoping it will inspire you to either make one of my quilts that I have on my YouTube channel, or perhaps you'd like to make any quilt, your favourite quilt perhaps, or even donate a blanket to this wonderful charity.
In 2013, I was sitting in my office. As I said, I was a banker by trade. I was an executive and had an office on the East Coast, West Coast, traveled all the time. My children had already arrived, and my children arrived in 2009, and they arrived in my home carrying a trash bag. And the shocking thing was I had carried a trash bag when I was in foster care. And when I became homeless at the age of 18, a senior in high school, the only thing I had was my trash bag. And so I never forgot that. I never forgot, even though I graduated from high school, that I'd gone in the military, I'd become a successful businessman. I never stopped thinking about that trash bag that I carried, the trash bag that tried to define me. Knowing that like my biological brothers and sisters, I'm the youngest of 10, the majority of them had fallen to the wayside. Over 438,000 children are sitting in our foster care system as of today. And we know the statistics show that only 54% of them graduate from high school, that only 11% apply to college, and only 3% get a college education. And, every time I think about those statistics, I think about how much we have failed. The thing is when it comes to foster care, children are put in the system because of choices other people made. And we go in and we save them per se. And then all of a sudden, when they start to turn 16 and 17, we no longer want to invest in them. And we literally allow these kids to age out of a system. And majority of them become homeless. I mean, 70% out of the average 30,000 that age out every year become homeless within 2 years. There was a study that showed that over 64% of our prison inmates were actually in foster care. So listening to all these statistics, is just, to me, something that shouldn't be happening. I mean, these are our children. They're not mine. They're not yours. They belong to us. And, to not give them some hope and dignity, is something that just always weighed heavy on my heart. And as I saw my children growing up, I realized that my kids were lucky ones. They were coming into our home. They were able to be adopted. Their lives completely changed. My kids are a little privileged. And, I started thinking about the fact of what was I doing? Was I truly raising leaders of tomorrow? And instead, was I raising takers? I feel so many times we are such takers and we forget about the giving part, which makes us richer. And so one particular fall, in 2013, my husband walked into my office. He was a stay-at-home dad with our 5 children, and we used to do this huge toy drive. We would set up this big tent in front of Ben's Chili Bowl in D.C., and the local radio station would come, and, all the local celebrities, and they would all, donate thousands of toys to the needy kids that were in foster care. And this one particular year, Reese walked into my office, and he said, "Okay, we've got to start planning the toy drive." And I said, "I don't want to do it." And he said, "What do you mean?" And I said, "What are we teaching our children? We're teaching our kids, you give the needy kid a toy and it makes everybody's life better." I said, most of us wake up on December 26th. We don't think about those kids. And majority of the toys are already broken. And he said, "What do you want to do?" And I said, "I want to eliminate trash bags in foster care." And he was like, "What?" And I was like, "I want to eliminate trash bags in foster care locally." I said, "I want to put some cases together." And so we got my senior team and some members of our church and some friends in the community and some local leaders of our community. And we all came together in my big training room, and I told my story. I told my story of the 12-year-old boy who walked up the house with the trash bag. I told my story of the boy who used to eat out of the trash cans at the age of 18 as I would go to school every single day. And I would hope kids wouldn't make fun of me because I couldn't tell you the last time I had cleaned those clothes out of that trash bag or had taken a shower, had had a haircut. And I told my story. And then the next thing you know, I talked about my children and about how my daughter arrived on her first night and how sad she was until she got her brand new pair of pajamas with the tag on it. I talked about how every child deserved to have a toothbrush and toothpaste, their own lotion, their own shampoo, their own conditioner, and their own bar soap. I told the story of the thousands of kids, 700 a day, that come into foster care and put into holding places with nothing to do, and how they deserve to have their own activity. Kids under the age of 10, coloring book and crayons, and kids over the age of 10, a journal and a pen and pencil set. I told my story of the boy who sat in the public library and would read every single book he got his hands on, because I knew then at a young age, if I educated my mind, I could educate my future. I also knew that the public library was where they allowed me to stay, or where they never kicked me out. You know, I still to this day call it my safe place. And I wanted to make sure that every single child got a book. See, I was in my early 20s before I owned my first book. And when I wrote my book several years ago, my memoir, I remember saying to my editor that I was writing my book for two reasons. Number one, I wanted you to love it in your mind. Number two, I wanted you to love it in your heart. But the most flattering thing you could ever do for a book is pass it on. See, most people don't realize this, but there's no such thing as a used book. It's only a book that's been loved. And then we give every kid a stuffed animal. My son Tristan, he was, I think he was about 4 years old at the time. And he walked into my bedroom and he said, "Daddy, where's your stuffy?" And I said, "I don't have a stuffy." And he was like, "You don't have a stuffy?" I was like, "No." And he walked into his room and lo and behold, brings me this stuffed animal he had. And he's like, "Here, Daddy, everybody needs a stuffy." I still have that bear, by the way. And he is right. Whether you're a newborn or 19, everybody loves a good stuffed animal. And then probably one of the most important things in that case that people don't realize, and I say this as I travel the country as a public speaker now, is the blanket, the quilt. See, my son Grayson, he was 6 years old when we started to pack our first case. When he arrived in my home, he was 2. He'd come into my home with bleeding of the brain, shaken baby syndrome, and 3 broken ribs. His mother was 12 years old when she gave birth to him. You know, my son at the age of 6 looked at me and said, "Daddy, we must put a blankie in every case." And I was like, "A blankie?" I was like, "You do know these kids are not cold." He said, "I know, Daddy, but every time they wrap themselves up in their blankie, they know we love them." See, at the end of the day, that's what each and every one of us want. We want to be loved. We want to be wanted. We want to know that we matter. We're not disposable. We're not invisible. And with that story, we packed a case and another and another and another. And then before you knew it, we have packed over 150,000 cases in all 50 states, DC and Puerto Rico. And I'm so excited that on May the 1st, for National Foster Care Awareness Month, we will be opening up our first chapter in the United Kingdom, where we will service over 54,000 youth who enter their foster care system. And by the way, they carry trash bags as well.
Oh, that's amazing. I wish I knew that because I have followers in the UK.
That's crazy.
So it was hard for me to capture everyone, and I've been trying to email people to find out if you're in Canada, who do you help? If you're in the UK, who do you help?
Well, in the UK, you can always help Comfort Cases because we have Comfort Cases UK.
So that starts on the 1st of May?
Yes, it kicks off on May 1st.
There was something I did want to ask, was that some people like to make an impact in their local area. Mm-hmm. However, I've heard you discuss postcode versus community.
Yeah, mm-hmm. I truly believe that your community is not your zip code. that it is our human race. And I do believe that it's very important that we realize that, because what affects people in my little town of Darnestown, Maryland, affects people in your town of Princeton, New Jersey. But I also do believe that we should take care of our backyard before we start to clean up our front yard. And so what I tell people who want to donate, that if they want their items to stay within their town, then make a note of that and we'll make it happen. We will literally contact social service agencies in Princeton. By the way, we give cases to Princeton. And so the items that you would donate would actually stay within the Princeton area. We do that all over the country, because we do understand that. I mean, people, there are some people who, even though I say it, they still are like, Rob, we want to take care of our backyard. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. So what we do is we say, listen, we'll take care of your backyard. You just have to help us make sure that we connect with the right people. So what we do is I have a team of volunteers. And by the way, we're 96% volunteer ran. So I have volunteers that will reach out. If you tell me, you know what, Rob, I want my quilts to stay within the Princeton area. And so what would happen is we have volunteers that will reach out to the Princeton social service agencies, and they will actually, when your quilts come in, those cases will be packed, the quilts will be put in there, and they'll be shipped to Princeton.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's really good to know, actually.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Thank you so much. And I know that shipping can be expensive.
Oh,
is there an easy way for us to get our quilts to you?
So we do a Give Back Box program. We are one of the few charities that have been chosen from Give Back Box. And so if you go to givebackbox.com and you actually, you can, for $15, you can send as large of a box full if you want. You can have a refrigerator sized box and it's only going to cost $15 to get it to us. So that's huge. We have boxes, as a matter of fact, today when we had a delivery come in today, we had 4 very large boxes that were from Give Back Box. And so what you do is you just log on to givebackbox.com and you will pick comfort cases, and then you'll print out a label, put it on the box, and UPS will pick it up and bring it to us for just $15.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I feel like you make it easy.
You have material that costs more than that per yard, by the way. So,
So I might have a few members in my audience that can't donate a quilt for whatever reason. Is there another way that they could donate?
Oh my gosh, yes. So first of all, you can go to comfortcases.org, and there's lots of ways that you can donate. And by the way, one of the things that we have that is the most valuable thing is our time. And so, there's ways that people can donate their time to Comfort Cases, reaching out to, social service agencies that oversee foster care and seeing if they know about us. We never charge for our cases. We send our cases free, 50 at a time, to social service agencies all over the country. So we want people to spread the word. The other thing I always say is that for some reason, here in the States, we always go to hotels and we save those little toiletries, shampoo, lotion, conditioners, and bars of soap. We bring them home and we stick them in a drawer. And so I always say, do a drive. Get all your neighbors, your churches, your synagogues, your temples. Get them all to clean out those drawers, put them in a big box, and ship them to us, because those are the perfect sizes for our comfort cases.
Okay, that's wonderful. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
I actually have a big bag down there. I'm going to show you.
Look at that sea, Stacey. I love that. You know what? The number of people that tell me, oh my gosh, I have one of those drawers. I'm like, for some reason, I think we all have one of those drawers. So, definitely get those.
I like to make up little packs with muesli bars, 2-minute noodles, maybe a couple of dollars. And then if I'm in New York City and a homeless person asks me for money, I give them a pack instead.
I love that. So I love that. I mean, hey, we were meant to be friends, because that's exactly what we do as well, as a family. And when we go and visit in the city, my kids, it never fails. We'll be walking down the street and there'll be somebody that will be, that will be experiencing homelessness, and my kids will look for the closest restaurant, and they'll say, Dad, let's go in and buy food to go and bring it back out. And the number of people, we bought pizza and spaghetti or something, and just bring it and hand it to them, and it's just seeing the smile on my children's face. And I started this out by saying that I didn't want to raise takers, I want to raise givers. I will have to tell you that I now have 5 kids, by the way. I have a
I
20-year
know.
old. He arrived at the age of 18, from foster care, carrying a trash bag. He's now 20. So I have a 20-year-old, a 16-year-old, 2 14-year-olds that are 3 months apart, and then I have a 12-year-old. And I will have to say that my 5 kids are definitely givers. They have truly changed, and I think it's because their dads have changed. And I gave up my plush corporate job, to be a public speaker, to travel the country, to educate people that we all can make a difference in foster care. Foster care, by the way, is not the answer. It is a shattered system that needs to be rebuilt. And what we need to do is we need to support our community, support our families, so these children don't ever end in foster care.
Mhm.
But we know a certain percentage always will, and I hope that we're able to give a comfort case to them.
No, that's amazing. Thank you so much for all that you do.
Oh, Stacey, thank you. I'm so excited to watch your YouTube video and to keep connecting about this amazing journey that you're doing. And thank you for giving back. I mean, the people don't realize this. It is so rewarding. I say it quite often. It makes my heart smile when I meet people like you. People that, you didn't have to do this, and you chose to do this. And so thank you so much. And by the way, I'll get this Zoom downloaded and sent to you today.
Thank you for watching my videos. If you're enjoying them, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment.